All right, well, recording's in progress, and I will then go ahead and note that we are welcoming you to the November 1st, 2021 meeting of the Pacifica Planning Commission. Before we sort of jump into the agenda proper, I want to go ahead and say a few words about how we'll be conducting this evening's meeting. The meeting of the Pacifica Planning Commission this evening will be conducted pursuant to the provisions of Government Code Section 54953, as amended by AB Assembly Bill 361, which authorizes teleconference meetings under the Brown Act during certain proclaimed states of emergency. The governor of the state of California proclaimed a state of emergency related to COVID-19 on March 4th of 2020, and this actually remains in effect. This teleconference meeting is necessary so that the city can conduct essential business and is permitted under Government Code Section 54953 in order to protect public health and the safety of attendees. Consistent with Government Code Section 54953, this Planning Commission meeting will be held via teleconference only, and there will be no physical location that is open to the public. Planning commissioners and staff will teleconference into the meeting by audio and or video, as will the city attorney who's with us this evening. The public can observe the meeting remotely via the Zoom link as the primary means of participation, or via cable channel 26 or live stream broadcast as alternate methods of viewing the meeting. Participation via the Zoom link will enable the meeting to be observed live and will enable the public to speak during public comment periods. The Zoom link was published in the meeting agenda. Live public comments are being accepted at this meeting. Public comments may be provided live by members of the public utilizing the Zoom link to participate in the meeting. Utilize the raise hand function in the Zoom application on a computer, smartphone, or tablet, or else enter *9 to raise your hand if you're dialing in by phone. Please ensure your name is correctly entered in your Zoom profile so city staff may properly identify you when it's your turn to speak. Those dialing in by phone will be called to speak by the last 4 digits of their phone number as shown in the Zoom interface. With all that said, we'll go ahead and move to the agenda, and we'll start with a roll call, please.
Commissioner Berman.
Present.
Commissioner Godwin.
Present.
Commissioner Leal.
Present.
Commissioner Niblin.
Present. Okay, well, that's a quorum of 4, so we can go ahead and proceed then to the salute to the flag. And I'll ask Commissioner Godwin, since he was the first to dial in, I'm going to ask him to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Godwin. Next we have administrative business. Before we hit the administrative business, I'm going to ask if there's any public comment related to the 3 items of administrative business that we have this evening. Actually, we have 1. It's approval of the order of the agenda. There are no minutes this evening to approve, nor a designation of a liaison to the City Council meeting, but I will ask if there's any public comment with respect to the administrative business.
There are no hands raised, Chair.
Thank you. Well, I'll ask then for a motion to approve the order of agenda, since that's where we are at this point. Commissioner Leal.
I'll make a motion to approve the order of tonight's agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Commissioner Berman.
Second.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second to approve the order of agenda. If we could get a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Berman.
Yes.
Commissioner Godwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Leal.
Yes.
Commissioner Niblin.
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And as I noted, we don't have any minutes this evening to approve, nor do we need to designate a liaison to the City Council meeting. Is that right, Commissioner Mr. Murdoch?
That's correct, Chair Niblin.
Thank you. So we'll go then to oral communications. And this is the portion of the agenda that's available to the public to address the Planning Commission on any issue within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission that is not on the agenda. The time allowed for any speaker will be 3 minutes. And I'll ask if there's anybody who'd like to address us under oral communication, please.
There are no hands raised, Chair Niblin.
Thank you. We'll go ahead then and close out oral communication, and we'll move. I'll also note that we don't have any consent items this evening, so we'll move past that. And we'll come to our 1 public hearing for the evening. And this is file number 2021-017, which is Site Development Permit PSD 85321, Coastal Development Permit CDP 43321, and Sign Permit 13421 for a master sign program at 500 Old County Road, 250 Rockaway Beach Avenue. This is at a site formerly known as Holiday Inn Express Hotel at 519 Nick Guest Way. The recommended CEQA action is Class 1 and Class 11 categorical exemption pursuant to CEQA guidelines sections 15301 and 15311. And staff's recommended action for us to take is to approve this matter as conditioned. I'll ask for a staff report, please.
Good evening, Planning Commissioners. I am Senior Planner Bonnie O'Connor. Tonight I am presenting a master sign program for an existing hotel site formerly known as the Holiday Inn Express at 519 Nick Guest Way in the Rockaway Beach area. The hotel received approval to expand its building in 2013, adding approximately 44 guest rooms and approximately 2,000 square feet of retail space. Due to the addition of the retail space, the building is considered a multi-unit development and requires an approved master sign program. Due to the location of the site, the signage also triggered the approval of a site development permit in accordance with the Rockaway Beach specific plan and a coastal development permit in accordance with the coastal zone zoning district. The program includes a total of 6 signs. 3 of the signs would be located along the eastern elevation of the building along Highway 1 and will provide signage for the hotel use. 1 freestanding and directional sign for the hotel would be located on the west side of the building and would replace the location of an existing similar sign. The remaining 2 signs would be placed on the north elevation of the building and would provide signage for the future retail tenants. 2 retail signs were proposed to be wall signs located above the entrance of the retail space. Staff found that the design of these retail signs were not in the high quality design that is supported by applicable design guidelines. Staff proposes conditions of approval to replace these 2 proposed retail signs with interior window signs suspended parallel to the storefront windows of each commercial space. The dimensions of these signs would comply with the area limitations in the Pacifica Municipal Code and the Rockaway Beach specific plan. The interior window signs would provide more sign area than proposed by the applicants and it would increase the visibility of the commercial spaces and would also provide an opportunity for a high quality sign design to be created while still using consistent materials and others as other signs on the building. Additionally, staff found that the proposed acrylic face of sign 2, the projecting sign on the east elevation, also did not meet the high quality design that is supported by applicable design guidelines. Staff proposes a condition of approval to require sign 2 to be revised to include a routed aluminum cabinet face with an acrylic backer behind the routed copy, similar to the style proposed for sign 4 in the directional freestanding sign on the west elevation. As conditioned, staff finds the master sign program would provide a high quality sign program for the hotel and future retail spaces. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission find the project exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act and approve the site development permit, coastal development permit, and sign permit as conditioned. That concludes my presentation and I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. O'Connor. I think at this point, I'll ask whether or not any of the commissioners have questions for staff or clarifications that they'd like. Okay. I don't see any hands at this point. So I think this is the point at which we would ask the applicant to speak to the matter if the applicant is present and wants to do so. And we would ordinarily allocate 10 minutes for that. Not that you have to use all 10 minutes of it, but in any event, that's where we are at this point. Is the applicant present or a representative of the applicant present?
Yes, I am the applicant. Let me start a video here. I'm representing the sign company that put together the master sign program.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ford. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay. I don't really have a presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Obviously, I believe the staff report covers the signage that we're proposing. We have also, as far as the conditions of approval for the 2 retail signs and the change to the sign number 2, the large projecting sign, there aren't any real issues with those proposed conditions of approval. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. I think what we'll do is hear from the public first, if there are any public comments, separate and distinct from the applicant, and then perhaps we'll come back to Mr. Ford with any questions if there are any. Are there any members of the public, Mr. Murdoch, who are wanting to speak to this matter?
There currently are no hands raised, Chair Niblin.
Okay. We'll wait just a couple more seconds just to be clear that we are calling for that if there is anybody in the public who wants to speak to the matter. All right, well, looks like there are no members of the public who wish to speak to this matter, so we'll go ahead and bring it back to the commission. I think I'll add that looks like Commissioner Ferguson has joined us, so I think the record should reflect that Commissioner Ferguson is with us at this time. And we'll go ahead then and bring it back then to the Planning Commission and see if any commissioners have any questions, comments, or discussion or deliberation at this point. Or alternatively, if there isn't any of that, I'll also note that it would be appropriate to make a motion if somebody's inclined to do that as well. Commissioner Berman.
I guess it's a question. It's not really anything that would change how I'm inclined to vote for the project, but just out of curiosity, I know in Rockaway, the majority of the signs are somewhat gold. There's kind of a gold theme recently in Rockaway. And I like the blue proposed for the signs for this project. And I think it's going to pop better with, along the siding. But I'm curious if this will pose some inconsistency with the rest of the specific plan area.
Maybe Ms. O'Connor, you can take that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a question for me or what, but I know what you're referring to, Commissioner Berman. There is numerous signs, especially across the street and along Donde, that do use a gold themed signage. This applicant, similar as their neighbor at the Rockaway Inn, have chosen not to incorporate the gold. So there's definitely other instances that do not have gold signage in the area. So I don't know if it would be an inconsistency. I also think that this being a hotel will probably for the immediate tenant that's going to be using it will have some color requirements for their hotel franchise. And so maybe maintaining the flexibility to be able to accommodate those will be important.
That makes sense. Thanks, Bonnie. Like I said, I like the blue. I think it's going to be easier to read. It was just kind of a curiosity question.
Thank you, Commissioner Berman. Are there any other questions or comments or deliberation at this point?
Chair Niblin, good evening, Deputy Planning Director Christian Murdoch. I would just ask if you could seek clarification from Commissioner Ferguson if he was able to listen to the entirety of the public hearing before the commission might proceed to a motion on this item, so we can determine whether he's able and qualified to vote on this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. Commissioner Ferguson, yeah, noting that you were, we got quite a ways through the substance of all this. I was curious about how much you were able to.
No, sorry, my laptop decided to completely die, so I had to go get another one. The fan went out, I guess, and it won't turn on without the fan. So I heard as much as I was on the meeting for.
Okay, so that was about, I'll note that was about 7:10 or so that you were able to join us. So, I guess I would defer to Mr. Murdoch and to Ms. Sharma with respect to, what's appropriate in this case.
There's 4 of you, so I'm more than happy to abstain.
Maybe that's what we'll do, just in light of the particulars of this matter, and since we do have a quorum. So again, I'll turn it back to my fellow commissioners to see if there's any further deliberation on the matter, or if somebody wants to make a motion at this time. Well, I think given the Commissioner Berman, go ahead.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Please do.
I move that the Planning Commission finds the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, approves site development permit PSD 853-21, coastal development permit CDP 433-21, and sign permit S134-21 by adopting the resolution included as attachment A to the staff report, including conditions of approval in Exhibit A to the resolution, and incorporates all maps and testimony into the record by reference.
Thank you, Commissioner Berman. I did want to ask one clarifying question. Are the particular conditions of approval, Ms. O'Connor, that you were referencing in your report, are those things that are actually in the resolution in the packet, or are those conditions that need to be adjusted? I just wanted to clarify that point.
We have proposed language that is already included in the conditions of approval. And so we're not proposing any further changes from what's already in the staff report.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Leal.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Berman and a second by Commissioner Leal. Could we get a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Berman,
Yes.
Commissioner Godwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Leal,
Yes.
and Commissioner Niblin.
Yes.
The motion passes with 4 votes in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstention.
Thank you. So we'll then move on to commission communications. I'll ask if there are any commission communications. Commissioner Ferguson.
Yeah, 2 things. Sorry for being late. These things happen, I guess. Pretty frustrating on my end. And second, I had a chance to attend the countywide ADU meeting last week, and I just wanted to commend Ms. O'Connor on doing a fantastic job on her presentation.
Thank you, Commissioner Ferguson and Ms. O'Connor. That's great. Not seeing any further commission communications, I'll go ahead and move to staff communications.
Thank you, Chair Niblin. Just one announcement from me this evening. Wanted to report back that the City Council adopted the ordinance approving the Fairmont Shopping Center master use list last Monday. That ordinance will take effect 30 days from adoption by the Council, which will be November 24th. So thank you again to the Commission for the work and the recommendations on that item.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. That then will bring us to adjournment. If there's a motion to adjourn, we'll move in that direction. Commissioner Leal.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second? Commissioner Godwin.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Can we go ahead and get a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Berman,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Godwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Leal,
Yes.
Commissioner Niblin.
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously.
Great. Well, we're adjourned. Good night, everybody.
Good night.